Die before you die. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? But what if I told you this phrase holds the key to living without fear, without hesitation, and with a sense of purpose so sharp it cuts through every doubt? The samurai knew this secret, and they built their entire way of life around it. They didn't just survive, they thrived, living with honor, courage, and an unshakable resolve. But let's face it, we live in a world that's constantly testing us, at work, at home, even within ourselves. Most people crumble under the weight of fear and indecision. The samurai, they mastered these challenges centuries ago, and their lessons are just as powerful today. Imagine walking through life with a discipline to conquer your goals, the courage to face anything, and the compassion to lift others along the way. Sounds like something we all could use, right? Today, we're diving deep into the code that made the samurai legends Bushido. This isn't just about swords and battles. It's about crafting a life of meaning and strength. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with principles that can transform how you live, lead, and love. Before we dive into the first lesson, take a second to hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Lesson 1. Discipline as the foundation of strength. Discipline is the one thing that separates those who merely wish for greatness from those who achieve it. The samurai knew this, and they lived it. Imagine waking up every single day with a singular purpose: to master yourself. Not to impress others, not to chase fleeting goals, but to ensure that every action aligns with your principles. That's discipline, simple, unwavering, and powerful. Think about it. How many times have you let distractions get the better of you? Social media, procrastination, or even just endless overthinking. The samurai wouldn't tolerate such wastefulness. They saw every moment as an opportunity to sharpen their skills, to become more than they were yesterday. And the beauty of discipline, it's not about being perfect, it's about showing up consistently. Let's bring this into your world. Do you want to write that book you've been putting off? Start by dedicating just 30 minutes every day to it. Want to get healthier? Commit to a 10-minute walk before breakfast. Discipline doesn't demand drastic changes overnight. It's about small, consistent actions that snowball into monumental shifts. And here's the catch. Discipline isn't about what you do when you feel like it. It's about what you do when you don't. That's where the magic happens. It's in those moments when you'd rather hit snooze, skip the workout, or put off that difficult conversation. Each of those moments is a choice, a step closer to strength or weakness. Now here's a thought. If you could master just one area of your life with discipline, what would it be? Hold on to that answer because it's the key to unlocking everything else. But what's the next piece of the puzzle? Let's talk about the guiding force that turns discipline into something meaningful: honor. Lesson 2. Honor above all else. Honor is the invisible armor the samurai wore every day. It wasn't just about how they were perceived by others. It was about staying true to themselves. Think of honor as the foundation of a house. Without it, no matter how beautiful the structure, it crumbles under pressure. For the samurai, honor wasn't negotiable. It was life itself. But let's bring this ancient concept into today's world. What does honor mean to you? Is it keeping a promise, even when it's inconvenient? Is it standing up for your values, even when no one else will? Honor is the compass that keeps you aligned with your true north, even when the world tries to pull you off course. Here's an example. Imagine a coworker takes credit for your idea at work. Honor might mean addressing the issue respectfully, rather than letting anger cloud your judgment. Or let's say you made a mistake. It's tempting to hide it, isn't it? But owning up to it, even when it's hard, strengthens your integrity. That's the power of honor. It builds trust within yourself and with others. The beauty of honor is that it simplifies life. When you act with integrity, you don't have to keep track of lies, betrayals, or excuses. You live lighter, freer, and with purpose. And here's a question worth pondering. How often do you sacrifice your honor to avoid discomfort? Maybe it's time to flip the script. Because once you embrace honor, something incredible happens. It becomes your shield in moments of doubt and fear. And speaking of fear, how did the samurai face it head-on without flinching? Well, let's dive into the next lesson, embracing death to truly live. Lesson 3. Embracing death to truly live. Death, it's the one thing we all try to avoid thinking about. But for the samurai, it wasn't something to fear. It was something to embrace. They believed that only by accepting the inevitability of death could one truly live without hesitation or regret. Imagine living every moment as if it were your last. Not in a reckless, dramatic way, but with clarity and purpose. That's what the samurai mastered. Now, before you brush this off as morbid, think about how often the fear of failure, rejection, or uncertainty holds you back. Isn't that a form of death too? You stop yourself from living fully because you're afraid of what might happen. The samurai knew that the fear of death, whether literal or metaphorical, was the ultimate prison. By facing it head-on, they broke free. How can you apply this today? Start small. Try that thing you've been avoiding because it scares you. Whether it's speaking up in a meeting, reaching out to someone you've lost touch with, or pursuing a dream you've convinced yourself is impractical. Remember, every day you hesitate, you're letting fear win. The samurai would tell you, die to your fears and you'll truly live. This mindset doesn't just help you conquer fear, it changes the way you see life. When you accept that nothing lasts forever, not your successes, your failures, or even your struggles, you stop sweating the small stuff. You start focusing on what truly matters. And here's the twist. Once you stop fearing death, you unlock a whole new level of courage. But what does that courage look like in action? That's where we turn to the next lesson, how the samurai cultivated unwavering bravery. Lesson 4. Courage in the face of adversity. Courage isn't about being fearless, it's about acting in spite of fear. The samurai knew this better than anyone. They stood their ground not because they didn't feel fear, but because they refused to let it control them. Courage, for them, was a daily practice, not a moment of glory. It was the quiet decision to face challenges with unwavering resolve. Think about the last time you felt afraid to take a step forward. Maybe it was asking for a raise, starting a new project, or even saying no to someone. What stopped you? Fear has a sneaky way of magnifying our doubts, doesn't it? The samurai's secret was simple. They didn't wait for fear to vanish. They acted first and trusted that their courage would follow. Here's a practical way to build courage in your own life. Start with something small but meaningful. Speak up in a conversation where you'd usually stay quiet. Sign up for that class you've been too nervous to take. Or even try saying, I don't know, when you're unsure about something. It's a small act, but one that takes guts. Each time you push past fear, you strengthen your courage muscle. And courage isn't just about big, dramatic acts. It's about consistency, showing up even when it's hard. The samurai didn't just display bravery in battle. They practiced it in everyday life, in their relationships, their discipline, and their unwavering commitment to their values. But here's the real question. Where does courage lead when paired with honor and discipline? It opens the door to something deeper, compassion. Because true strength isn't about domination, it's about lifting others up. Let's explore that next. Lesson 5. Compassion as a warrior's virtue. Compassion might not be the first thing you associate with warriors, but for the samurai, it was a cornerstone of their philosophy. They understood that true strength isn't about overpowering others, it's about protecting, helping, and even healing. Compassion in their eyes wasn't a weakness, it was the ultimate expression of control over oneself. Let's break this down. Imagine someone cutting you off in traffic. Your first instinct might be to honk, yell, or let anger take over. But what if instead you paused and thought, maybe they're rushing to something urgent, something I can't see? That pause, that choice to assume the best instead of the worst, that's compassion in action. It's not about letting people walk all over you. It's about choosing strength over impulse. The samurai practiced compassion through small, deliberate acts. They cared for their communities, respected their enemies, and upheld a sense of justice that went beyond the battlefield. Think about how you can apply this in your own life. Could you lend a hand to a struggling coworker, even if it's inconvenient? Could you forgive someone who wronged you, not for their sake, but for your own peace? Compassion starts with empathy and ends with action. But here's the catch: compassion takes courage. It's easy to react with anger, impatience, or indifference. What's harder is to pause, reflect, and act from a place of understanding. And here's the paradox: the more compassionate you become, the stronger you grow. Because when you lift others, you rise too. So, what happens when compassion meets loyalty? You get an unshakable bond to the people and principles that truly matter. Let's see how the samurai lived that out. Lesson 6. Loyalty is a sacred duty. Loyalty for the samurai wasn't just a choice. It was a sacred duty. It defined who they were and how they lived. Their loyalty to their lord, their family, and their values was unwavering, even when it demanded sacrifice. To a samurai, loyalty wasn't about convenience. It was about commitment, even in the face of hardship. But what does loyalty look like today? It's not just about being there when things are easy. It's about standing firm when challenges arise, whether it's sticking with a friend who's going through a rough time, keeping a promise even when it's inconvenient, or staying true to your principles in a world that constantly tests them. Take a moment to reflect. What or who are you truly loyal to? Is it your career, your family, your beliefs? And here's the harder question: does your daily life reflect that loyalty? Because loyalty, like trust, is built on action. It's about showing up, not just saying you will. One powerful way to practice loyalty is by setting boundaries. Sounds contradictory, right? But think about it. By saying no to things that don't align with your values, you're saying yes to what truly matters. That's loyalty in its purest form, choosing what aligns with your higher self. The samurai believed that loyalty was a bridge to something even greater, a sense of purpose that made every sacrifice worthwhile. But how do you ensure that loyalty doesn't lead to stagnation? You embrace the path of constant growth. Let's see how the samurai pursued that in the next lesson. Lesson 7. The pursuit of continuous improvement. For the samurai, life was a journey of endless refinement. They embraced the concept of kaizen, the philosophy of continuous improvement. The idea wasn't to chase perfection, but to strive for progress every single day. Whether it was perfecting their swordsmanship, mastering their emotions, or deepening their understanding of philosophy, the samurai knew that standing still meant falling behind. Now, think about your own life. What's one area where you feel stuck or stagnant? Maybe it's a skill you've always wanted to learn, like playing an instrument or cooking. Perhaps it's your fitness, relationships, or even your mindset. The path of improvement isn't about massive leaps. It's about small, deliberate steps forward. Want to read more? Start with 10 minutes a day. Want to get fitter? Begin with a 15-minute walk. Progress, no matter how small, compounds over time. The beauty of continuous improvement is that it shifts your focus. Instead of obsessing over outcomes, you fall in love with the process. The samurai didn't train just to win battles. They trained to become better versions of themselves. And here's a secret. When you focus on becoming better, the results naturally follow. But let's be real, improvement takes commitment. It's not always glamorous, and there will be days when you want to quit. That's where the samurai mindset shines. They didn't let setbacks define them. They used them as fuel. Missed a day at the gym. Go back tomorrow. Said something you regret? Apologize and move forward. Every mistake is an opportunity to grow. And here's the thing, when you commit to improvement, you start seeing life differently. Challenges become lessons and failures become stepping stones. But what ties all these lessons together? A deeper understanding of purpose, discipline, and honor that runs through every action. Let's pull it all together. So here we are. You've journeyed through the timeless lessons of the samurai: discipline, honor, courage, compassion, loyalty, and the relentless pursuit of improvement. Now, the real question is, what will you do with this wisdom? Will it stay as just an idea in your mind, or will you take that first step toward living like the warrior you were meant to be? Imagine what your life could look like if you truly embraced these principles. What could you achieve if fear no longer held you back? How much more meaningful would your days be if you acted with unwavering honor? And what kind of impact could you have if compassion and loyalty guided your actions? It's time to stop letting life happen to you. Start showing up with purpose, discipline, and courage. And here's a challenge. Pick one lesson from today's video and put it into practice starting tomorrow. Which will it be? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts and your plans to transform your life. If you're hungry for more insights like these, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. There's so much more to explore, and you won't want to miss a single moment. And for those who want to dive even deeper, I highly recommend Bushidō, The Soul of Japan by Anatsu Naito. It's an incredible guide to understanding the philosophy that shaped the samurai. You'll find it super affordable on Amazon. Check the link in the pinned comment. Thank you for watching. Now click on this next video to continue your journey toward mastering the art of fearless living. Let's keep growing together.